All right.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
I'm about to get on this man here.
All right. What's up, everybody? We're back. Mission Uncensored is back again for another episode. This is this is going to be our fourth episode of Mission Uncensored. We want to thank you all for sticking out with us for the first three videos. Hope you guys really enjoyed those. If you haven't seen them yet, please go check out the first, second, and third videos that we have put out on our YouTube page. And today, of course, we want to get right into it. Again, my name is Bakari Garvin.
Todd Garvin.
It's your boy Akil.
And we have a very special guest with us here today. And I know the lovely lady is going to go ahead and introduce herself to the world. So let us know who you are.
Hi, my name is I'm just playing. I'm Asia. Hey, guys.
My fiance.
Yeah.
Yes. Asia's a part of the fam, part of the crew. You know, she a cousin.
I created this family, but you know.
Right. Okay. So today, you know, we're gonna get uncensored. We're gonna get dirty. We're gonna get provocative. And for today's episode, we're gonna be talking about abortions. We know abortion is a very sensitive topic for some people, but it's something that we deal with in our world. You know, we it's something we do. So what we're going to be talking about is whether we are pro-choice, which means we feel like people or women should have a choice in whether they should have an abortion or not, or if we're pro-life, whether we believe that if you somehow become pregnant, that you should have the baby. All right, so let's go ahead and start it off. Todd, Kill, y'all want to pop it off for us?
I'll go ahead and get it popping since, you know, I'm usually the controversial one.
Say that word again. Controversial?
You trying?
He added some S's to that word.
You trying my English? Look, I just had a peanut butter jelly sandwich. You know how the peanut butter get stuck.
Okay, man.
Okay, Todd. All right, so, oh man, this is tough. This is gonna be tough to say, but, and I'm gonna just say it. I am pro-life. And the reason I say that is because, one, you know, it's a baby. I mean, I know we can get technical with the terms and say, well, it's really an embryo or whatever. But the point is it could grow to become somebody that can either make a difference or, yes, it could be a bad person too, but depending on how it's raised. Now, I feel like 9 times out of 10, the women that end up in these positions where they do have to make a choice, I feel like it would just make a little more sense if they chose to go with having the kid. And the only leeway I would give is to those that, you know, probably had something really traumatic happen to them. Like, I'm talking like a 15-year-old, you know, getting raped by a 40-year-old, something like that. Then I'd be like, okay, she obviously too young to have it. But again, I feel like any teenager is too young to have a baby. But I do agree at the same time that, you know, if the child is conceived in a way that may not be the most ideal way, but it's like, hey, you are here, you're here where you are now, you might as well suffer the consequence and maybe try not to look at it as a consequence, but just still go on with having a baby. I mean, you know, if that was a choice that we were able to have, you might as well let us have a choice for everything. Like, if I commit a crime, you wouldn't want me to have the choice to decide whether I want to go to jail or not. Obviously, I don't want to go to jail. But if I commit a crime, then I got to do the time. I got to go to jail. So I feel like if you do whatever's been done to have a baby, even if you just don't feel like you fit enough to take care of it or whatever, just go ahead and bring it into the world anyway and see what happens. The baby might make you a better person. I mean, a lot of people act like, a baby is, I shouldn't say it like that, but, a child is usually the best thing that happens to most people. So I'm like, if it's such a great thing, why not go ahead and have it? Unless you've been, traumatized and you just got attacked or something like that. But that's my main stance. And then other than that, I would say, I still don't agree that like old white men should be telling women what to do with their bodies. Let me just say that too. But
I have to learn to be
I'm still pro-life in the sense of, hey, have the baby, just see what happens. I mean, the worst that could happen is that you kill the baby and then you got to live with that. I imagine it's probably no different than killing a real human being. You or an adult. I mean, yeah. Again, it's gonna be tough because you're talking about something that's inside the woman. But if a woman can defend herself in the sense of what she can do with her body, then they should also understand that they're also carrying a living, breathing creature, like a creature. I don't know when you start to call it human, but I don't think that should matter because that's just a term. The point is, it's something that's going to grow to look like you 9 times out of 10 or look similar to you. And, I feel like people wouldn't be pro-choice if it was like, somebody's sibling, having a child. Like, I wouldn't want them to abort the baby either. But, if she just felt strongly that, she couldn't do it, what I'm gonna say, oh well, since it's pro-choice, do your thing, or I'm gonna be like, no, it's pro-life, like have the baby. So I just feel like pro-life makes a lot more sense than pro-choice in that main perspective.
I agree with Akil with a lot of his points he was saying, but I think I'm more pro-choice than anything. I think when I was younger, I definitely was like pro-life. If you get pregnant, then that's on you. But I think now it's pro-choice because people, one, if you get raped, of course, or something happens to that magnitude, and you don't want to have the baby, okay, have an abortion. That because that's not right. But then if you're just out here, if you're having sex, whatever, mistakes happen, you get pregnant. Before you even get to the point of an abortion, there are precautions that you can take before you even get to that. Take the Plan B pill, the morning after pill, whatever. Like, do that. But at the end of the day, it's a choice, and it should be a choice. I feel as if you're in a relationship, it should be a choice between the both of you that come together. At the end of the day, it is the woman's body, and it's like a 60-40 because it's her body that has to go through the pregnancy, but it still should be a conversation. She shouldn't just go off and have an abortion without talking to her man. But I think it's pro-choice. People just don't have, especially nowadays, people aren't financially ready to have a child, and having a child is expensive. Like, everybody doesn't have the family members that will support them through that. You have to buy babysitters, you have to buy diapers, food, clothes, all that type of stuff. If you can't do that, then
you should kill the baby.
Well, before it's even a baby, though. That's the thing. If you prevent that before you actually have to get to the point of an abortion, then because the abortion, you actually have to go to the clinic. You can take the morning after pill if you think you fucked up, and the pill is like 99.9%, so it is that 1%. But still, I think it's pro-choice. I know for me, if I were to get someone pregnant, I know that if she wanted to keep the baby, I probably wouldn't want to keep the baby, especially where I am in my life right now. But if she wanted to keep the baby, then I would support her in that, and I'd do what I have to do. Telling our parents would be something else, but I mean, that's with anybody, but I mean, I'd be there. I'd man up and, take my responsibility, and just, go hard. But, yeah, I think that's just where I stand on it mostly, I think.
I think Asia's about to say something.
No, go ahead, Makar.
All right.
So for me, I believe H. Holland.
Because if we weren't recording, I would have cut everybody off like 5 times already. But go ahead.
For me, see, we gonna get into that in a little bit. But for me, I have to disagree with Tom, and I have to side more to Akil and say that I personally am pro-life as well. The main reason that I'm pro-life is Akil really pointed to it. Mm-hmm. You do the crime, you got to do the time.
Do time.
If you, of course, I understand that there are extreme instances. Like Akil said, there are also medical instances where a woman might not be medically stable to have a baby. I understand those. But when it comes to the majority of people that have babies, period, I would say had the babies by having the sexual interaction by choice, right? So that's your choice. That's your pro-choice that you get right there. You can choose whether or not you want to lay down with this person, right? So then you choose to lay down with this person. So of course, remember, I'm talking about consensual sex here. Right. You choose to lay down with the person. Mm-hmm. You know damn well before you lay down, one of the major things that will happen to you, that could happen to you when you perform sexual intercourse, is that the woman can become pregnant. You know that. If somebody ever said they didn't know that, then they're not from the earth. Okay? They're not from here. So you know that. Damn well. You know that's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Now you find out that you're pregnant. Oh no. Maybe you're not financially stable to do it. Maybe you're not, at a point in maybe you don't think that you're at a point in your life to where you can have this baby and have the baby have a healthy life, right? Right. One, all of us, we know people in high school that had babies. I look at them now, them babies are healthy, them babies are happy, the moms are happy, the moms are healthy, the ones that decided to have the baby, right? Right. If I ask them, would you go back and change it? No. They're going to be like, no, this baby is one of the best things that happened to me in my life, right? Two, pro-life. If you really aren't able, but you consensually had sex, but you really aren't able, I know the system is kind of messed up and flawed, but there is an adoption system, right? There is and yes, a lot of people might get, the foster care system, the adoption system can get, bad rep, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of successful stories also. I know friends that are adopted and they say that they're so happy that this family care for them. And yes, I know that some families aren't going to care for you well. And you're like, damn, why did I even get adopted? Or you might get put into a foster home where it's horrible. Like we see on television and stuff like that, where it's like a horrible foster home. Right. But you're still giving that baby a chance, right? You're giving that baby a chance to live its own life, to make something hopefully of itself. There are still success stories that come from adoptions, from foster homes, from homelessness, to all these things that give us so many ways that people have shown that they can make it, that you can do it, And I just personally believe that if you have the baby, if you have the sex, and you get pregnant, you should have the baby. If I got a girl pregnant tomorrow, I'll be like, well, I guess I'm a dad. I'm going to be with her. And then going on to another thing, well, no, I won't get into that. But if she decides, and we have the baby, I'm be like, I'm a dad. that's my child now, you know. And getting into the topic of the choice, you know, I understand 100% that in our world, the way it was made, women are the one that get pregnant. They're the ones that bodies change. They're the ones that bodies get affected, you know, emotionally, you know, physically, you know, on so many, I don't know, genetically, I don't know, you know, they're the things that get happen to so many different things to them.
Right.
But in the terms of the pro-choice, whose choice is it? Right? Like, really, whose choice is it? Because, you know, I understand the argument that it's 100% the woman's choice. I get that. Because, yes, in terms, she could go to the doctor with nobody else's go and get an abortion, right? But when you lay down as a unit, as two people, right? And does that, when does that man, let's say the man in this instance, when does the man become the father of that child? Does he become the father of that child after the baby is born? Or does he become the father of the child as soon as he finds out that woman is pregnant? To me, he becomes the father of that baby as soon as he finds out that woman is pregnant. That's when he becomes the father. So if we live in a world where there are things of where you force husbands or spouses to pay to take care of the child after it's born, then I feel like we should live in a world where they have an input on that child as soon as they find out the baby's pregnant. I mean, I'm not the baby's pregnant. I'm tripping. As soon as they find out that the woman is pregnant.
Right.
Now, am I saying that now, do I feel like anybody should be forced to have a child? Absolutely not. Nobody should be forced to do it, right?
Nobody should.
But I feel like the man or the spouse has a right to at least plead their case and to be influential in the decision. They should be there holding the woman's hand in the decision made. The decision shouldn't just be solely on the woman. It should be something that comes between the both of them. And if they both decide to abort the baby, that's their decision. If they both decide to keep the baby, that's their decision. But if the woman decides to abort the baby, and then the man wanted to have the baby, what do we look at the woman like after that would happen? How do we look at the woman? Would we be like, girl, you did your thing, you did what was right, you did the best thing, and then the man is over there sobbing because he thought he was about to have a baby, but oh no, we don't care about your feelings because it's the woman's body. Opposite, if the woman decides to keep the baby, but the man doesn't want the baby, but then we force the man to pay child support. But then we force the man to be to legally be the child's supporter.
Right.
But in the beginning, we didn't care what the man thought. We don't care what you think. But as soon as his baby was born, now we care. Now we want your money. Now we want this. Now we want that. You know, so in that system, I feel like that's why the choice thing is kind of flawed, because it leans too heavy on one side. You know,
right.
But going back to the point, I am for pro-life. I'm for having babies. If you lay down, you have the child. That's how I'm for. Asia, how about you? What you feeling?
I spoke the truth right there. I didn't even think of that the other one.
The only reason you feel like that is because when Bakari talks, he talks like a preacher. So you
okay.
But I agree with everybody. I'm kind of on a stance of I kind of agree with both. So mainly like pro-choice, because like I'm a woman and I understand like if you let me just.
And that's why we wanted to have you on here, because we wanted to hear a woman's side of you.
Yeah. So, and then there's a whole lot of aspects that go into like.
Well, first lay out why you say pro-choice over pro-life.
Well, it's not really over. I kind of see them like that. So I'm pro-life because you can't be out there doing the dirt and you pregnant about 6 times, and each time you get pregnant you like, all right, about to make this appointment. I don't feel like that's right, because you gotta be responsible. You can't just be out here doing what you do and not expecting any consequences or anything from your actions. Whatever you do in life, there's always something to come back on it, whether it's positive or negative. And I don't think it's fair to another life for them to have to suffer for things that you do in life. But I feel like it goes to extreme, because I also feel like in different situations, like you said, Bakari, if you do the crime, you do the time. But a lot of times people, like, they do what if they decide to have sex, they use protection and they're on birth control, and just like that 1%, that 1% is just here, and they did everything that they were supposed to do if they decided to go that route, and they ended up pregnant. So, and then they feel like, okay, I don't really necessarily think I'm ready for pregnancy. I wasn't planning on it. I did everything I was supposed to do, and now I have to live with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do? I take it to the guy and see how they feel, because they also would be like, we did everything we were supposed to do. So I feel like with that, we'll have to have like a conversation, and then that would just have to be based off of how they feel in their life, whether they want to continue with the pregnancy or terminate the pregnancy. And then there's also things like, sometimes genetically, if you find out the baby, I mean, you can carry the baby full term and then give birth to the baby and the baby dies, like just like that. Do you really want to carry that baby knowing that as soon as you give birth, the baby's going to die? Like,
how does the person know that
you can do testing and stuff like that while the baby is developing in the womb. They have testing and things that say.
Is it one of those things where they go, there's a chance he could die, or he gonna die?
There's some situations where there's a chance that the baby is born and they have a certain percentage of like longevity of it, like depends, but there's some situations where, look, this baby has this type of genetic disorder, and like their bones are too soft, and if they're born like right then and there, they're not going to make it too long after being born. So it's like stuff like that that makes me think, oh, I don't know. Me myself, I'm pro, like, regarding me, not anyone else, but regarding me, I'm pro-life, because I feel like, to me, if I did what I did to make a baby, then I have to, like, I did that. So own up to what you did for me, myself. But I don't think it's necessarily right for me to say what another person should do.
So what gives a woman, this is gonna sound like a weird question, but I think it's gonna make sense to a degree. What circumstances technically gives the woman the okay to give an abortion? I mean, when you think about it,
I mean,
just about every scenario, even the bad ones, you know, the girl could still go on with having the baby. Like, say, let's take the example of the girl getting raped, right? She just got raped. It was horrible. Oh my gosh. She didn't see that coming. I mean, her life is ruined, right? But she gets pregnant. Despite all that bad stuff, couldn't that baby still be the blessing?
Yes, but not having a baby can also be a blessing. This little girl, or it doesn't even have to be a little girl. This woman can be raped and have a baby. They can have the baby and be like, oh, this is a blessing that came out of something bad. That's perfectly fine. Or you have a woman who was raped, who was in school doing what they were needing to do to provide for themselves, to prepare stepping stones for their life, and they have a baby. And because of that, now they're not financially stable to have that baby. Now they have to leave school. They have to leave whatever they were doing that they were planning for their lives like now they can't. I mean, they could do it. They can still do it, but it might have to happen later on in life. So it's really how you see the blessing. Not saying that when the baby is born, they're gonna look at this baby like, oh, you trash or something like that. They're not gonna do that. Right. It really depends. But it's just like it depends on the person and how they look at the situation.
So it sounds like,
and then that just goes to like what Bakari was saying, because like you said, they can have the baby and put the baby up for adoption. But just like how there's these great golden stories of adoption, you also have to look at the other side of adoption. Not every kid gets adopted, and that's just the fact of it. There's kids who are born and right off the bat they get adopted by somebody, and then there's kids like as they continue to grow, the likelihood of them being adopted is getting slim. So the longer they're in the system, the longer that they're being, and it really depends. Like people adopt or foster kids for the wrong reasons. A lot of times you get money from the state by however many kids you have in the house. So if I was one of those people to be like, oh, I'm about to be on the come up, I'm gonna go get 10 kids and I'm about to be bankroll, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to think of stuff like that as well, because it's
no. Go ahead.
So to ask this question then, isn't it reasonable to think that, you know, life is just full of risk, and you know we all have, you know, assume there's just two paths. We all got two paths to choose from, the right or the wrong. So
yeah.
But isn't in a way, even if it does lead to something bad, still isn't pro-life choosing pro-life means it's a choice.
Both
right?
of them are a choice.
So they're both a choice. Okay, but let's just say we're all pro-life, right? Isn't that more likely than not going to lead to more good things in the world than just aborting a baby?
You don't know that.
And assuming that things weren't going to work. I mean, because the only reason most women abort the child is because they just assume, I guess, nothing good can come from it.
No, I don't think it's.
I don't think it's necessarily they don't think anything good can come from it. I think it's one of those situations where it depends on how old you are at the time of when you get pregnant.
Right.
Then if you are, let's say you are in high school, right? And let's say you have a really promising career. Let's say the girl or both of them, they're gonna like move, they're gonna go to college, they're gonna do great things, and then this happens. Right. That changes everything they have planned. Now it can change everything and go good. It can change everything and go bad. So if you decide at that point, it's a decision between the both of them. If that makes sense. Like it shouldn't, for me, it's not always the woman's choice. Like if she is raped, it's absolutely her choice. Nobody has anything to say. Mom, dad, it don't matter. She was raped, she should be able to make the decision. Now, understand if she's a certain age, she can't make that decision by herself because she has to go with somebody. But in that situation, she should make the choice. If it's two people, if they're a couple, then y'all need to make the decision together. And whatever the decision is, you need to stand by your person.
But who's to say that you make the decision and then 9 months from now when the baby's here, the guy's like, psych, I'm just playing. Like, who's to say that? Right. Because when a baby is born, it's automatically assumed that it's now the woman's child with the help of the guy when it comes down to that. But you more likely see single mothers than you do single fathers. And if you see single fathers, it's because
the woman was messed up.
Yeah, but whenever it's a single mother, it's because the dad didn't want to be in the picture, or certain circumstances led for the separation, and the guy was just like, well, I come see him on the weekend. It takes more than just a weekend to help raise a child. It also takes more than just child support to help raise the child.
That's true.
if I'm a woman and I'm pregnant and I'm looking at the relationship that I'm in and I'm just like, I don't see myself with this guy 10 years from now. And I feel like I'm going to have this kid and I'm going to be on my own and I'm not going to be financially stable. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to give this kid the life that I want it to live. I think I have the right to decide. But to a certain extent, I can't be going through dudes like the McDonald's drive-through. And each one that I get, I'm like, no, no, no. And every other week, I'm at the clinic filling out paperwork.
I mean, that's an extreme scenario, but let's just say it is that one scenario. Are you gonna talk? I mean, it sounds like the woman has the right. I mean, the woman has the right, but should she talk herself out of having a baby just because she feels like things are gonna be rough?
She can. I mean,
life is rough.
There's also,
but it's not just about.
Well, like pregnancy is more than just growing a baby. People die from childbirth.
I know. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, if life is a little rough, are we all just gonna go, man, I want to take the. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but abortion sounds like the easy way out in terms of, I mean, not having a baby. Because what other reason do you have a baby for than to have a baby?
But some people aren't trying to have a baby, and that's not necessarily an easy way out. There's a lot of emotional, mental things that also go into that when people have abortions. You think they just go in and be like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to the mall now. People really do be emotionally stricken by.
Yeah, I mean, that's like car accidents. Nobody plans for a car accident, but the minute it happens, what you gonna do? I mean, you can't reverse it. I've been in a car accident, so I can tell you, I ain't planning on it happening. Didn't want it to happen. I could have lived my whole life without it, but because it happened, I have to move on from that point. Does a woman move on from finding out she's pregnant and then just go, you know what?
And a lot of times you have to think about the quality of life you're going to give this person instead of saying, oh, well, I'm going to have a kid and they're going to grow up to be Obama and through their life, they had the roughest childhood.
We can point out a lot of people got a rough childhood.
Which one? Okay, but Asia was that. Well, one I did want to say when it comes to like there are more single mothers and things like that. You know, in our law system, it's always thought that once the baby is born, the mother is the provider. I feel like that's a problem of our societal views and our legal system thinking that mothers are supposed to be there for their child. Like you're supposed to be there and the men can do whatever. That's a problem that is in our society. And I feel like the parents are supposed to be there.
Right.
Then when it comes to kind of the quality of life, and I was thinking about this when you were talking about the adoption system and things, I think of the question, which is more important? When it comes to adoption, which is more important? Having parents or being alive? If I told y'all right now, y'all could be alive, like you could live your life being alive, but you don't have parents, or the other option is they kill you before you even get a chance because they don't think they could be good parents.
Right.
I personally feel like give them the life. A child, even though
you have to think about what life are you giving them.
I mean, you got poor people right now that you would think they was happier than some rich people.
I understand that, but you're talking about, and like, yes, I agree. Like me, myself, I don't necessarily like the whole putting your kid in the system. I'd rather you feel like you find like a family member or somebody you know who's going to take care of your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole foster care, adoption, the whole system, I feel like it's rigged a little bit because when it all boils down to everything is about money. And you can have a 3-year-old whose mother decide to have him or her and say, oh, I'm gonna give birth to the baby, but I don't necessarily want to take care of him, and I'm just gonna drop him or her off at the fire station. Now this baby is 3, 4, 5 years old. He's still in the system. and there's a chance that he or she could go into a foster home where the parents are abusive physically and mentally, sexually. I don't know if I would want to go through a full 9-month pregnancy knowing that I'm going to give birth to a child and then hand them up and not be 100% sure that I know that they're going to a loving family. And that's just a personal thing. Like if I was to get pregnant and I wasn't ready, I would try my hardest to find a family that I know is going to be a loving family. And even if they're not even a part of my family, if I meet them through an adoption agency, when I look through the pamphlets and I get to know these people throughout everything, then I'll be like, okay, cool. But to just have a baby and say, oh, I'm going to put them up for adoption, that's just not the right route I would go. Now, sometimes I understand, sometimes that's what people got to do because they don't have people in their corner like that. But it's just.
So then I got a question. Do you think that I must just say the government, because I don't know who made the law, but the government, right, made that law saying that they would consider it murder. They would consider it murder if, you aborted a baby after a certain number of weeks, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't know a certain amount of weeks.
But in other words, they consider it murder, right? And you can go to jail.
Oh, you mean now?
Right.
Well, I mean, and then that's the thing I have with the whole new laws and everything that they were, because just because you say you can't come here and get an abortion, people, if they don't want to have the baby and they want an abortion, they will find a way. Whether it's them taking pills, throwing themselves down the stairway, finding a hanger, exactly.
But do you
and
think,
then I feel like that is.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think they're wrong for considering it murder? That's the real question.
I don't know how I feel.
Because here's the thing. It's really conflicting with the pro-choicers. Because on one hand, you say you're pro-life for you, but then you go, oh, but for everybody else.
No, but that's not how I think. I'm thinking of, I am control of my own actions and what I do.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't feel like I have the right to tell somebody else, oh, you need to go do this or you need to go do that.
Right.
That's where
yeah.
I'm coming
from. I don't feel that way either. I think I still stand by pro-choice, but that's for me. Like I'm not about to tell, like, if Boo Boo the Fool get pregnant, I'm not about to say, oh, you need to, like,
exactly. I'm not gonna go out
and that was like the biggest problem when that whole abortion thing came out, is that, and at the time it was all of these white men telling all of women of color what they should do.
Well, that's our American history.
Saying that you should.
Women in general, not just women. They were telling all women.
What?
They were telling women. Yeah, they were telling everybody.
Women of color. When I said that, I was meaning everybody, because white is also a color. So that's what I was saying. I was saying that it is. I mean,
don't even. Oh my
God. No. Just now, that's what I was saying. Just now.
But he said white men at first. He didn't say colored men.
So
colored men.
Why you didn't say colored men? Yeah.
Whatever.
You say colored men, stop.
Whatever. White men, women, better.
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense now. Okay, no, but here's the real question. I need this answer, y'all. Do you consider it murder the way they consider it murder? Because me personally, I would say yes, murder. You killing something.
I consider it murder.
I
consider it murder once there's a heartbeat.
Okay,
even though I'm pro-choice,
that's a problem.
Even though I'm pro-choice, when it comes to that law, it's because you technically can't murder something. Or when does it become alive? Because you can't murder something that's not alive.
I believe the statistic is between 6 to 8 weeks is when there's a heartbeat. And I believe that's when technically it is alive. My problem with the whole murder thing is that, yes, it is murder, but if you're going to trial somebody off of that, you got to trial somebody off killing the insect that also has a heartbeat. You see, like that doesn't make.
Nobody's saying it isn't murder.
Come on,
You know
human
what my
life,
problem
Ty.
is?
It don't matter though. It doesn't. If there's a heartbeat, the law should be the same regardless. The law should be
Regardless. So you're saying babies are compared to roaches?
But
You
what I'm
compare a
saying,
baby
no,
to
but
a
I'm
roach?
saying if they're gonna pass that law saying it because of a heartbeat, then you have
Of a human, a
everything.
heartbeat of a human, not a heartbeat in
I have
general.
something to say.
And that's the problem. We got too many rights.
All right. Go ahead.
Because I think the thing was if you can determine the heart rate of a baby, then you can't abort. But a lot of times people don't find out that they pregnant till they a good.
Right, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like it could be a couple weeks before you find out you're pregnant. A lot of women are different. Some women don't have menstrual cycles every month, and it's irregular. And
so what are you saying? Are you
I'm saying
because
that
they don't
you
know?
can't. But I mean, how if you're not planning on getting pregnant and you do not have a regular period, a regular menstrual cycle, and you go to the doctor's office just for a wellness check, and they be like, "Congratulations, you pregnant," and then the girl goes and they do a test, and they find out, oh, you're 10 weeks pregnant, you're 11 weeks pregnant. You necessarily don't.
Oh, you saying because she found out too late?
Yeah. So now they're
like
just
it's not fair all of a sudden.
I mean, technically,
I see that. I see what you're saying because it's like.
But is it murder though? Is it murder?
See, it's like I said, like I do believe it's murder once they're alive, but also it's not the same kind of murder as if I killed you.
Everything's alive though, bro. Like your brain is alive, and that don't have no heartbeat.
But if that's the case, then you need to get rid of Plan B pills and all this.
All right, and if you kill me right now, it's murder.
But if you feel that way towards like abortion, then you should also feel that way towards the morning after pill. Because what if you are pregnant and you take that morning after pill? Just because it's not detectable at that moment don't mean you ain't pregnant.
I feel that way about them. I never said I didn't feel that way.
So you feel like that's murder as well?
I do agree that it is murder if you kill something, whether it be a bug or a fetus or an embryo or a human.
Not a fetus.
Or whatever.
What do you call them things? A zygote. What if it's just that?
Your cells are alive, flowing through your body. Do you consider your cells dead?
Okay, so then okay, this is even if so you could consider it murder, right?
Yeah.
But do you consider it murder to the point where you should be arrested for it?
No.
That's what I was going to get into. I don't think you should be like tried like, how
but
they
the
say
word murder, like the definition, like the definition, that's what it is.
Hold on, let's be technical now because as you know the law system, there are different degrees of murder. You got manslaughter, murder one. So I'm just saying you have to give it a degree. I'm saying that degree would be low, but it's still murder. Now I'm not saying
why would you give somebody? Why would you give somebody? Okay, let's say I had a girlfriend.
I have a question.
Sorry. Let's say I had a girlfriend. We got pregnant, and we get an abortion. Right? It's after the heartbeat. She wants to get an abortion. We get an abortion. If that law passes, we are now labeled as murderers, right? But we ain't gonna go to jail. That doesn't make, like, for me, that doesn't make sense. That's why it should be labeled as murder. If you are a murderer, you need to take your ass to jail.
Well, I didn't say you didn't have to go to jail. Now, maybe you go to jail for a weekend the way you would if you got like a DUI or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, different degrees. It sounds funny, but think about it. If you in jail for a weekend for anything, you telling me you ain't gonna be scared? You ain't gonna be like, oh, this ain't nothing. I would be scared if I went to jail right now. So I know if I would go to jail for helping abort a baby, I'm gonna rethink it. I'll be like, yo, okay, This is what happens when you don't take this type of stuff seriously and really consider having a baby or not.
But listen, you can't be charged with murder. I have two things to say. You can't be charged with murder and go to jail for a week. And then you get out.
Hold on. You do agree George Zimmerman got out scot-free for killing somebody, right?
That's a trial. The jury didn't find him guilty.
Okay then, but he murdered somebody, did he not?
Yeah.
All right then. So
but it all
you
comes
could
down
go to jail
to
for a weekend.
Yeah, if they made the
or
law,
a week or whatever.
yes, if they made the law that if you kill the embryo, you go to jail for a weekend. Yes, they could. Yes, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
I also have another question.
All right, go ahead.
Does the man also go to jail for murder?
If he
In
helped.
my scenario, yes. If he helped, be honest with you. If I'm gonna stick by my thing, it is a mutual decision. So if that became a law, then yep, the man going right there with her.
Yeah, if he helped,
the problem comes in.
He just gonna go for a week.
Girl get the abortion, and nigga like, hey, bro, I ain't had nothing to do with that.
Got another question. What about the doctor?
The doctor?
Is
the doctor going to jail?
Oh well, see if they
that is a tough.
Well,
if it's illegal to do it, then yes.
Well, yeah, if it's illegal.
If that law was passed, then
the doctor would
clinics, all that type of stuff would get shut down. So anybody that was involved in that would be a part of that.
Yeah.
Doctor
would do it behind the door.
Okay, so how do you feel about this? How do you feel about right now we have abortion clinics and we have people who can safely get an abortion. They cut that out, throw it out. It's no longer here, and they say y'all can't do this. As a person, you can be like, oh yeah, we find out you get an abortion, you go to jail. So I want an abortion, I'll be secretive. I go down a back alley somewhere and get an abortion like that. Do you feel like cutting out abortion clinics would be a good thing, or do you think if you cut them out, people just aren't going to get abortions?
I see that, with anything, if you cut it out, people are going to find a way to do it, and yes, that way is going to be more dangerous. Like you look at, I think in our second episode or something, I brought up prohibition, right? They got rid of alcohol, but then people still figured out how to do it, in a more dangerous way.
Crack is illegal. You still got crackheads running around here telling us, what's up, man?
So in that instance, if they took away abortion clinics and yes, that means that would force people legally to have the children.
No, you're forcing the woman to have the children.
It's not really forced.
It is
technically.
That is forced. If you telling me I can't abort this baby and I have to have this baby, that's forcing me. You don't gotta hold a gun to me. But if you say you going to jail if you abort this baby, I don't want to go to jail, so I'm having a baby. That's forced.
Well, let's look at the women.
Imagine the mental abuse that does to a woman. Carrying this child that they don't want to carry, going through hours of labor and pain and pushing a whole human being out of that being. That's mentally, oh my gosh.
What about the mental problems that they gain from killing a baby, Asia? What about the mental problems that they gain when they have an abortion?
What mental problems do you have to even consider killing a baby in the first place?
You don't have to have mental problems to consider abortion.
I mean, what about after? What about the fact after you do it?
Wait, nigga, what?
What did he say?
Okay, hold on now.
I didn't hear what he said. What did you say? I
said something must be going on because think about this though.
But you don't want to have an abortion?
No. Think about this, Tom. Because look, okay, let's just go.
I have a question.
Okay, remember your question. Think about this, Tom. You said for yourself that you gonna stick with it, right? If a girl came to you, it's like she pregnant, you like, okay, dang, I gotta do it. So what has to go on in your mind to even make you consider having an abortion? For you, because right now you say you were pro-life for you, but you pro-choice for everybody else. So what has to go on mentally for you? No, that's what he said.
He said that he is the controller of his boat.
Right.
He ain't boating nobody else's boat.
Fine then. So what would make you consider abortion, Tom? Because to me, abortion is just not a choice you just kind of hop on and go, oh, bet I can just do this and it's all good. That's something you have to seriously consider. So what is going on in your head?
But that's not a mental issue though. Like if I got
I
someone,
don't think it's a mental issue.
Well, maybe not an issue.
no, but that's what Akil said, and that's why I was like, wait, what?
All right, bye.
Yeah.
So,
My bad. I didn't mean to say issue, but I'm just saying what's going on.
It's a process. So it's whatever. If I get somebody pregnant, immediately, as soon as she calls me, texts me, she comes to where I'm at, and she says, I'm pregnant. That changes the dynamic of everything else is going on for the rest of my life, whether I keep it or I don't. So then
what's going to make you not keep it?
Huh?
What would make you not keep it?
If I'm not in a place to raise a child, if I am not in a place to raise a child, mentally, physically, financially, everything, I personally, I don't know if I could do it. But I also understand that I have a support system that would be there for me. Like, people may not like it, but they're gonna be there for me.
Right.
And if I'm like, you know what, we gonna do this. If she decides that she doesn't want to do it, me and her will have a conversation. And if she still at the end of the day is like, you know what, I just don't think I can do this. It's just not, I just can't. Then I'm gonna stand by her 110%. Now,
how would you feel if she did the abortion without your opinion?
How would
you feel if she did the abortion without talking to you?
That's a problem.
I'd be mad as hell. Because what, like you said, it takes two to tango.
Right? Would you feel like there should be some repercussion for her actions?
No.
Why?
No.
Okay, wait. What do you mean by repercussion?
Like she go to jail for 2 days?
No.
Like legally or something. Legally. Like, yeah, legally. Do you think there's some repercussions to those actions?
I bet you'd be mad enough to want her to go to jail.
Right. Because if she had the baby,
I don't know.
Because if she had the baby and for some reason you didn't want to have the baby, oh bro, you got a repercussion. You got that child support. They'll be calling you. And if you don't do it, they're gonna send you to jail.
I have a question.
Because why? Because you make the choice. So if she makes the choice, then she need to get a repercussion too.
I mean,
she has to go to jail.
There could be some repercussion. I just don't.
Maybe not go to jail, but she got to pay me for my sorrow. You got to pay.
No, look, jail is a way to get people to. That's why they have jail. So you go there and rethink what you did.
That's not. First of all, let's be for real.
But we know why they really got jail. But we gonna use the textbook definition for now. Jail is supposed to help you reform yourself. So let's just assume that that's true. We know it's not, but let's just assume it's true. You telling me a quick, I keep saying weekend, but let's just say the repercussions meant you had to be in jail for like a week or something. Because right now they say it's what, 40 years?
40 years?
Can't a woman go to jail in the law if they consider it murder? Didn't they say it was 40 years? I can't. I ain't got.
40 years, bro. Are you serious?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of time to be in jail.
I ain't got to pull it up here, but anyways,
yeah. Well, you pull it up. I have a question.
For killing the embryo?
A zygote. You feel me? Like what?
What? A nucleus? What?
A mitochondria?
Okay, so what if the girl's pregnant, right? And she'd be like, Bakari, I'm pregnant. And you'd be like, say you're on the other side and you're like, no, or Todd, like, I don't think I want to have this kid. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna have this kid. She has the kid. And then one day you wake up, you in a house, the baby in the house, and she is nowhere to be found. What you gonna do?
Is she just gone?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, at that point, if I call her, text her, I'm getting in contact with her people, and they can't nobody get in contact with her, then I guess at that point, she don't matter to me no more. And I got to take care of this kid. Now, if that bitch try to come back,
Oh, Jesus.
We about to I'm about to get a lawyer. You're not taking this kid. You left him, whatever. Like, yeah. Like if she just got up and left because she just didn't want to have anything to do with the child anymore, then you can stay gone. You ain't gotta come back.
Yeah, she on child support.
You can't find her.
Man, I mean, but you can put on child support. That don't mean
you can't find her? Well, she got a warrant out then. Show up.
That's
swipe your card at a QT. It's a wrap.
That's crazy.
But,
how would you feel?
Punishable by 10 to 30 years.
What?
So my little weekend. All right, fine. It says a woman who miscarries because of her own conduct, say using drugs while pregnant, will be liable for second-degree murder, punishable by 10 to 30 years imprisonment. Prosecutors may interrogate the woman who miscarried to determine whether they can be held responsible. If they find the evidence, and they can charge them and detain them, and yeah.
I feel like that would be hard to trial because a girl can just be like, I didn't know I was pregnant.
But that's what I'm saying. Would you rather it be a weekend in jail or 10 to 30
I'd rather you not put me in jail because I'm making decisions based off of my body. That's like saying if I go and get my tubes tied, you're gonna throw me in jail because I'm sterilizing myself.
I mean, I kind of think. I mean, I get that, Asia, but I kind of the example that Kill gave of the DUI. It's like you made the choice to drink and drive, so then you can make you put that in your body, so then you could make put you in jail for 2 hours, for 2 days or whatever. Right. But kind of wrapping things up, we're kind of getting
sleep
close to an hour. I know. What's Ty doing?
He sleep, y'all. Ty, wake up.
But getting close, we're getting.
You on the clock,
bro. We're getting close to our hour time, so I just want to wrap things up. I think we have had really good discussion today. We've heard a lot of good viewpoints from myself, Ty, Asia, and Akil. We've all given very good, provocative viewpoints. So we hope you all please comment and roast Asia because she over whispering in Akil's ear. I know she's talking smack. Okay.
I really wasn't. Right over there looking like a chia pet.
Please comment, like, subscribe, retweet, repost our video so we can get more people to watch it, more people in the conversation. Let us know how you're liking it. Let us know how you're feeling it.
Comment who you think made the best point.
Comment and tell them that I should be on the show permanently as long as they cut the check.
So, like we always say, we appreciate you all. We're glad you guys stayed tuned, watched us. We coming with more provocative, more uncensored, baby. Thanks for watching.
It's not censored.